It is 2030 and Singapore has finally run out of clean drinking water. As a survivor, Eugene is adamant that he will survive and propagate. He scoured through strategic locations and managed to locate a few remaining water bodies. However, he realized that the water wasn't clean and he's definitely not going to risk his life for it. Using his scientific knowledge, he decided to purify the water for drinking. So in today's lesson, we will be learning about separation techniques that Eugene could use to remove impurities from the water that he has scavenged. These techniques that we'll be covering today are used to separate mixtures. As learned in the previous lesson, mixtures are two or more substances that are not chemically combined. So, how should we go about separating the mixture that Eugene has scavenged? Using his scientific skills, he found out that the mixture consisted of oil, leaf debris, sand, salt that is dissolved in the water, ethanol, which is also dissolved in the water, as well as iron scraps. So, armed with this information, let's go through the several techniques that can be used to separate these impurities. To separate solids from liquids, there are three methods that we can use. We can use decantation, filtration, or magnetism. So, we can use these methods to remove impurities such as sand, iron scrap, and the leaf, which are all insoluble solids. Next, to separate immiscible liquids, which are liquids that cannot dissolve in each other, we can use the separating funnel. In this case, oil can be separated from the mixture using this method. As for miscible liquids, which are liquids that can be dissolved in each other, we can use fractional distillation to separate them. However, we must take note that the liquids must have different boiling points for this to work. So in this case, ethanol can be separated. To separate dissolved solids from liquid, we can use several methods. Firstly, evaporation to dryness will allow us to obtain the solid that is inside the liquid. Simple distillation will allow us to obtain both the solid and liquid. So we can use this method to remove salt from the mixture. Crystallization can also be used to obtain a hydrated form of the salt. However, we must note that we cannot use evaporation to dryness and crystallization in this case, as we will only obtain the salt and not the water, which is what we want. In summary, to remove the impurities present in the water that Eugene has scavenged, we'll first remove the insoluble solids. We'll first use decantation to remove any leaf debris present. Then, we'll use magnetism to remove the iron scraps that are present in the bottle, as iron is magnetic. Next, we'll use filtration to remove the sand in the bottle. To separate the immiscible liquid from this mixture, we'll use a separating funnel, which would enable us to remove the oil. Then, to remove ethanol, we'll use fractional distillation as ethanol has a different boiling point from water. Lastly, we'll use simple distillation to remove salt, which is a dissolved solid in the mixture. And through all these separation techniques that we have just gone through, we're able to remove all the impurities and finally obtain clean drinking water. Eugene is finally able to enjoy his bottle of clean, fresh water in a dystopian world. I want to delete.